Yeah, this album is dedicated to all the teachers that told me I never amount to nothing. To all the people that lived above the buildings that I was hustling from that called the police on me when I was just trying to make some money to feed my daughter. To all my peoples in the struggle, you know what I'm saying? It's all good, baby.
Hi everyone, welcome back to to March reading. Today we will be continuing Dear Martin by Nic Stone. If you guys enjoy it, we'll be diving into chapter 15. Let's get into it. Also, I have the hiccups. Sorry.
Part 2. Transcript from Evening News, January 26th. Good evening, and welcome to the Channel 5 News at 5. In our top story, tragedy in Oak Ridge this afternoon, where two men in an SUV were shot at a traffic light. The incident occurred just after noon at the intersection of 13th Street and Marshall Avenue. According to the wife of the shooter, who was riding in the passenger seat, there was a brief dispute over loud music before shots were fired from one vehicle into the other. The identities of the wounded are being withheld pending further investigation, but we've received reports that one of the teens was pronounced dead en route to the hospital, and the other is in critical condition. The shooter has been identified as 50-year-old Garrett Tyson, an officer with the Atlanta PD. Officer Tyson was not on duty at the time of the shooting and was taken into police custody at the scene. More on this story as it continues to develop. February 1st. Dear Martin, he's gone. Never did anything to anyone, and now Manny's gone. I can't do this anymore. Part 2, Chapter 15. 27 days. That's how long the Riverses keep Manny's body in a mortuary cold chamber, waiting for his best friend to recover enough to attend the funeral. Frankly, just wishes they'd gone ahead and had it without him. He really doesn't want to be here. The first words out of the pastor's mouth were, "We are here not to mourn a death. We're here to celebrate a life, gone on to glory." Manny didn't even believe in heaven and hell. Just can imagine him saying, "The only place I've gone on to is that overpriced casket." Just didn't have it in him to go up and look at the body during the viewing. He knows the cause of death. Gunshot wound to the head. Because he asked to see the death certificate, and the Riverses consented. To see Manny laid out all serene after knowing there was a bullet somewhere in his head? Yeah, there's no way. Just can't do it. He would love to just get up and walk out, keep going until his legs fall off, or he dies from thirst or starvation, or exhaustion, or some combination of the three. Problem is, there are media people everywhere outside. Based on some of the speculation he's heard, Manny threatened Garrett Tyson, one of the boys threw something into Tyson's Suburban, Justice had a gun, etc. He'd rather not be seen. Not that being inside is much better. People keep peeping over their shoulders at him, where he's sitting in the back of the church with Mama. He has sunglasses on, but you can see them sneaking glances, marveling at the boy who survived. That's what they've been calling him on the news. Mama squeezes his good arm. He's still relearning how to use the other one, which is currently in a sling. The shot to the chest cracked a rib and punctured his right lung, but the bullet took to the right shoulder messed up a bunch of nerves. After 3 surgeries, he finally regained feeling in his fingertips. As the pastor leaves the pulpit and the choir stands, Justice looks around the packed interior of the church. He takes in all the dark suits and dresses, the tear-stained faces and shaking shoulders, and the collective sorrow hits him so hard the room blurs out of focus. The one thing he can see clearly is the face of Sarah Jane Friedman. She's watching him. It triggers a series of flashbacks from his more heavily drugged days in the hospital. S.J. standing over him, weeping, his left hand gripped in her right one, her left hand stroking his face. Mama was obviously not around. The sound of Dr. Rivers saying, "We're so glad you made it, Justice." Mama crying and asking his forgiveness because she had to go back to work. Mello being escorted out because she wouldn't stop wailing. Speaking of Mello, Jess can see her too. Honestly, if it weren't for Mama, he'd sure she'd try to glue herself to his side. She organized a group of Atlanta Falcons football players who came to escort Jess home from the hospital in a luxury party bus. Of course it made the news. As Mr. Rivers approached the pulpit to deliver the eulogy, he asked Jess if he wanted to do it, but there was no way in hell. Jess sees Jared and the bros. They're all sitting near the front with their parents, and he wonders if Jared and Mr. Christensen feel like the assholes they are. If it hadn't been for the damn phone call, Manny and Jess would have been headed to Stone Mountain. They wouldn't have been on the same road as Garrett Tyson. Manny would still be here. Jared turns around like he can feel Jess jabbing arrows into the back of his head. The moment they see each other, though Jared wouldn't know because of Justice's sunglasses, fury wraps around Jess so tightly he almost can't breathe. Even from a distance, Jess can tell Jared's eyes are haunted, like the floor is open beneath him and there's no bottom to his agony. Jess recognizes the expression because he's feeling the same way. It makes him want to burn the world down. Once the service is over, Jess walks with Mama to the bathroom before they head to the burial site. He doesn't want to go. As soon as she steps in, who steps out but Sarah Jane Friedman. His mouth falls open a little, and when she sees him, she freezes. Jess takes his sunglasses off. She's in a navy pantsuit, no makeup, dark hair pulled back into a bun. Her eyes, which are red from crying, roll over his face, and he's so relieved to see something other than pity burning in them. He almost reaches out to hug her with his good arm. It's quite the predicament, wanting to touch and hug and kiss a white girl after a white man shot him and killed his best friend. "Hey," he says, her eyes fill with tears. "Hey, you okay?" "Pretty sure that's what I should be asking you, Jess." He looks away, shrugs. Moments pass that feel like hours, days, years, centuries. She sighs. "So I know we haven't talked much, but I miss you, Wes." Her head snaps up. "I mean it," Jess says. "And why shouldn't he tell her? He's already lost his other best friend." SJ opens her mouth to speak. The ladies' room door opens. "You ready, Jess?" Mama sees SJ. "Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't realize you were speaking with someone." "Ma, this is Sarah Jane," Jess says, never taking his eyes off SJ. "Mama, lovely to meet you." SJ. "Same to you, McAllister." Mama turns to Justice. "I'm gonna head on out to the car. You coming?" "I'll meet you there," he says. "I want to walk SJ out." No, you don't have to. My parents are actually waiting for me. I'll see you at the gravesite." "Oh yeah, okay. Bye, S. Bye, Jess." As SJ disappears around the corner, Mama's expression shifts to a frown. "Sarah Jane, huh? You know her from school or something?" "She's my debate partner, Ma. I've mentioned her plenty of times." I saw she was looking at you. More in that girl's mind than debate. Can we not start with this at my best friend's funeral, please?" "I'm not starting with anything, Justice. Just saying, watch yourself with that one, that's all." "That one." "She's a good friend, Ma, and you do well to keep it that way." Just wants to argue. He wants to tell Mom all the ways SJ made him believe he was big, while everyone else made him wanted to keep him small. He wants to call Mama on her prejudice, tell her in his mind she's not just as bad as the guy who shot him and Manny. But he doesn't get a chance to. The second he and Mama step out of the church, they get mobbed by reporters. "Mr. McAllister, how does it feel to be the boy who survived? Justice, do you think there will be justice? What's it like knowing it could have been you in that casket?" That last one sets Justice off. "Do you have to be such a beep hole, man?" "Justice, don't say another word," Mama says. Then to the reporters, "My son has no comment. Now, if you'll excuse us." She uses an arm to sweep a smaller reporter out of the way, then grabs Justice by his elbow to pull him through the gap. Mr. Taylor shouts and points in their direction, and suddenly he and Mama get flanked by what have to be bodyguards. Justice winces as one of the huge guys, burly blonde, looks like his name could be Lars, bumps his bad arm. The pain that shoots from his shoulder through his entire body like a bolt of lightning is nothing compared to what's inside him. Tyson Indictment. Step Forward for Justice or Grand Jury Blunder by Tobias Dibetru, staff writer. Yesterday afternoon, a Georgia grand jury returned a multiple-count indictment against former Atlanta police involving 2 teenage boys. The indictment stands in glaring contrast to the Nevada and Florida cases involving the deaths of Shamar Carson and Tavarius Jenkins, and 2 of the charges, aggravated assault and felony murder, have many members of the community in an uproar. "The man was defending himself from thugs," said Tyson's neighbor, April Henry. "I've known Garrett for 25 years. If he says those boys had a gun, they had a gun." A fellow police officer who asked to remain anonymous claims the indictment is nothing more than a publicity stunt at Tyson's expense. Throughout to make an example of him, prosecutor pulled the race card, and the grand jury brought it hook, line, and sinker. and many agree. At a solidarity rally held in Tyson's honor, picketers wore t-shirts that read race baiting should be a crime, while holding signs featuring Tyson's face and the words protector, not poster child. A trial date has yet to be announced.
And that's all of Dear Martin for today. Please join me for chapter 16. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, comment any ideas that you have for the channel, or any book recommendations that you'd like me to read in the future. Please subscribe for more and tap the little notification bell so that you're updated whenever I update on a new reading. So yeah, please join me for chapter 6. Have a marvelous day, evening, or night, all of them. And yeah, peace.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine. Hanging pictures on my wall. Every Saturday, rap attack Mr. Magic Molly Mall.